Hello, friends. All right, so something that we need to talk about that we did not get time to talk about pre the world ending is that we need to talk about how we actually say the words of our monologue. Now, a thing that we had spent a little bit of time talking about is this idea of your monologue being a conversation. You are speaking to another human being who is physically in the room with you. That is still true. And that is still where our headspace needs to be. However, there are other things that we have to consider as well about how our monologue is written. Specifically, we need to talk about questions, question marks. These things are going to tell us so much about how our lines should say, or how our lines should sound, because if we look, I've got all kinds of questions in this monologue. I'm going to go through and underline just a couple of them. Cool, there's a bunch. There's one more. And the reason we want to know about our questions is because questions are the thing that sound the most different to our ears than any other type of speech, any other type of sentence. Because a question goes up at the end, right? I just asked you two, didn't I? And there was a third. And the reason that we want to make sure that we are understanding where our questions are is because if you have a sentence that is structured as a question, like this very first one, perchance you think a treasure trunk sans treasure would put my piratical BVDs in a twist. If I said that as, perchance you think a treasure trunk sans treasure would put my piratical BVDs in a twist, how wrong you are. It's nothing. It's just another sentence, and we are parroting our lines like a good little parrot. But you are not a parrot, you are a human being, and more importantly, you are an actor, which means that this line should sound like a question. When we say this sentence of, perchance you think a treasure trunk sans treasure would put my piratical BVDs in a twist, I should be saying it with that little up inflection at the end. Perchance you think a treasure trunk sans treasure would put my piratical BVDs in a twist? How wrong you are, right? If we put that pause in, that gives our invisible scene partner, the person who is the camera in our little scene of one here, it gives that person time to respond. Because that's what happens when people ask questions. They ask a question, and we wait for the person we are talking to respond. And that is what is happening here. I'm saying, perchance you think a treasure trunk sans treasure would put my piratical BVDs in a twist? How wrong you are. I'm giving him just that little tiny of a pause, and then I'm going to keep going. Because while I do want to give them space to respond, there is not a human being here. This is just my phone on a tripod. So if I'm giving my phone a chance to respond, I will be waiting for a very long time because my phone can't talk. So I'm just giving that little tiny bit of a, and then I keep going because that is all the time that we need to understand, oh, somebody is responding in this space. Some of you have this in your script. The word beat is that pause. It's the writer saying, and right here, you wait and pretend that your person is responding to you. And if you can think in your head, what type of thing would my invisible scene partner say, and then make your next line sound like a response to that, then it will make your monologue sound more like a conversation and sound more like a human being speaking to another human being and not just a person who is reciting these words that they have memorized. Memorizing is only half the battle. So what we need to do is we need to go through, we need to underline all of our question marks, and then we need to think, what is a response that makes sense there? Or am I even needing a response? Is my person going to say something, or are they just going to like nod or shake their head and then I move on, right? Because that will sound different than waiting for a full response. And then waiting for a full response should change how I say my next line because I'm responding to what they are saying, like it's a conversation. Cool. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please shoot me an email or something so that I can try to explain in a little bit more detail. And until next time, peace out.